Okay, so let's talk about the parts of the guitar. So this is the guitar neck right here. These little squares or boxes are called frets, and those are going to become very important in a little bit. These, which we already talked about, are called tuning pegs, or some people call them tuners. Some people call them, I don't know, other things. These are all the strings. We already talked about what each one of them is as far as notes, and if you memorize the notes of the strings, that's very helpful. But if you don't do that right away, that's fine. Eventually, you'll just know it. This is the nut. This little white cream colored thing right here is the bridge. This is the sound hole. Mine has a little pickup in it right now, but often guitars don't have that. This is the sound hole. That's going to become important. Yeah, so let's talk about finger numbers. I did have my finger numbers written in marker here earlier, but it rubbed off, so I'll just tell you what they are. So if you play piano and now you're going to do some guitar, the finger numbers are different in guitar than they are in piano. So that's something to just be aware of. So your pointer is number 1, 2, 3, your pinky is number 4. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's very important when we're figuring out where to put our fingers for chords, which is what I'm going to talk about in this video. You already know that the strings have notes attached, and each string is a specific note, and that's what we tune to. We tune to that specific note by turning the pegs. But they also have numbers, which becomes very important also when we're learning chords. So I'm going to teach you 4 chords in this lesson. This is a lot of information to take in all at once, so feel free to do this lesson over a whole week or even a whole month. I'm just showing you sort of a very big jump in guitar knowledge all at once here in the next 10 minutes or so. So again, finger 1, 2, 3, 4. These strings have notes, which I'm not going to talk about in this video, but they also have numbers. So this might be a little bit confusing, but this bottom smallest string, thinnest string, is string number 1. It's confusing for me because I always used to, well, I'm not going to tell you that actually because I don't want to confuse you. But so this is string number 1 on the bottom. String number 2 is 1 up from there. Oops. String number 3, 4, 5, 6. So the top is 6, the bottom is 1. So 6 at the top, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's going to become really important when we learn these chords. So let's talk about fret numbers. So remember I said the frets are these, but they're kind of the little boxes. So this is fret number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, 5. So if you notice, fret 1, fret 2, fret 3 has a dot. So does fret 5 and so forth. Those are called position dots. For me, they basically just help me figure out if I'm playing chords up here, they help me figure out what fret to go to. Even for my chords down here, which is what we're going to learn today, they just help me figure out really fast where's fret 3 for reference. So the first chord that we're going to talk about is called E minor. It's my favorite chord. I feel like it's a very simple chord. It's an easy chord to learn first. So what you need to do is find finger 2 and 3. Remember on guitar, these are 2 and 3. And then you need to find fret 2, so that's right here. Then you need to remember, okay, which is string number 5. String number 6, remember, is the top string, the biggest, thickest string. So string number 5 is right below it. So I'm going to take finger number 2 and put it on string number 5. Then I'm going to take finger number 3 and put it on string number 4. Some people use different fingers to play this one, but this is how I'm going to play it. I forgot to get a pick today, so you can take a pick in this hand, however it's comfortable. I like to play with these 3 fingers, but today I'm just going to play with my thumb, so I'm not going to show you the sound hole much here, but so this is what your E minor chord should look like. My thumb, if you notice, is quite far down this way. Lots of people go like this when they start, but I would recommend right away building a habit of bringing it down to the back of the neck, like this. Because that just leaves a lot of space right here, which is going to become important in future chords. So this is what it'll sound like when you just take your pick, go from the top string down. All right. When you start, there might be some buzzing, or it might not all the strings might sound like this. And that might be because you're either not pushing down hard enough, which happens a lot when you begin because your fingers are soft and you haven't built calluses yet, and you might get lines on them after you play. They might turn red, they might be sore, but the more you play, the more your skin's going to get thick and you're just going to build some calluses, which will help you play for a very long time. But I would recommend practicing just till they're sore in the beginning and then going and taking a break and coming back and just slowly building calluses over time. Another reason why you might not be able to hear all of the notes is because, remember when I said your thumb should be down the neck? Well, if it's not, you might actually be touching the bottom strings with a different part of your finger. Just your fingers might be on strings that they shouldn't be on. So if you bring that thumb nice and down, you have a nice sounding chord. That's E minor. The second chord that we're going to do, which feel free to pause the video here and just work on E minor for a day or a couple days. But the second chord that we're going to do is called G. No little M behind it. It's not G minor, it's just G. Or you could also call it G major if we're getting technical. But for this one, I use 4 fingers. And you might notice my thumb coming up because I have a bad habit of doing that and I'm trying to kick it. But I'm going to show you, there's a few ways to play this chord. I'm going to show you the 4-finger way first, and then I might give you a 3-finger way later. So you're going to use all of your numbered 4 guitar fingers. You're going to take finger number 1, you're going to find fret 2, string 5. So remember, string 6 is at the top, fret 2, string 5. And you may notice I actually play pretty close to one side of the fret on purpose because it sounds better, I think. So you're supposed to play not on fret 3, not on the silver bar, but I play on this edge of fret 2. Okay, so finger number 1, string 5, fret 2. And then you're going to take finger number 2, fret 3, string 6. Okay, so you have 2 fingers down. Then you're going to take finger number 3, find fret 3 again, string number 2, fret 3, right there. And then the pinky's going to go on fret 3, string 1. That's your G chord. Remember, you're going to go from the top with your pick all the way down. And if you have something that sounds like, that's okay, just keep working with it. Keep trying to push harder down. Work on getting your thumb down, maybe more space down here, but it'll take some time. So even if you have a buzz, that's okay, just work with it. All right, that's a G chord. Okay, the third, feel free to pause it here and work on the G chord for a few days, but I'm going to show you 2 more basic chords. So the next one we'll do is the C chord. Some people love this one, some people find it really difficult. I don't know why, but I don't think any chord is as simple as E minor, which is why I just love to start with E minor, but this is the C chord. So in this one, you're going to use fingers 1, 2, and 3. And so you're going to find fret 3 right here, finger 3 right here, string 5, second from the top. Finger number 2 is going to go on fret 2, string 4 right there. Finger number 1 is going to go on fret 1, string 2, second from the bottom. Okay? So you got finger number 3, string 5, fret 3. Finger number 2, string 4, 2nd fret. Finger number 1, fret 1, string 2. This is your C chord. Again, this is really hard for a lot of people. Sometimes they get barely any sound out of it. So just keep working with it, bring that thumb nice and down, get spaced. Might take a couple weeks. Okay, last chord. Feel free to do this one a month from when you start this video, but this is the D chord. If you learn these 4 chords, I feel like you can play thousands of songs. So the D chord, you're going to use again finger 1, 2, and 3. I think people find this one easier than C and sometimes easier than G. So what you're going to do is you're going to take finger number 1, put on fret 2, string 3. Okay? Finger number 2, fret 2, string 1. You're going to take finger number 3, put it on fret 3, string 2. Oh, and also for this one, you're going to play the bottom 5 strings. Not all of them. And I should have mentioned for C too, you can get in the habit of playing just the bottom 5 strings. Okay, and so for D also, just play the bottom 5 strings. Alright, so that's your D. If you have some buzzing, just work with it. Feel free to learn these chords over a month or more and just keep working with it. And then the last thing I want to talk about is once you get the chords down, you could start putting them all together, which is a whole nother challenge in itself. So in this video we did E minor, G, C, D. So now if you've got those shapes memorized and you've built up some calluses, you could start working on a chord progression, which is essentially working on rhythm chords for a song. I believe How Great Is Our God has 3 of these 4 chords in it, and I'll show you that at the end. But if you're going to work on a progression, I have to remember what the progression is. E minor, G, C, D. What I would suggest is just playing 4 chords in a row of each and then switching your chords. So it would be like 4 E minors, 4 Gs, 4 Cs, 4 Ds. And then you do it without having any pauses in the middle. That's a whole nother challenge which could take many months. And I was going to show you the 3-finger G. So that one, you don't use finger number 1, but you take finger number 3, put it on fret 3, string 6, finger number 2, fret 2, string 5, and you take your pinky, finger number 4, and you put on string 1, fret 3. Some people find that easier. Then you can, of course, do that same thing with your first 3 fingers. The splendor of the King. That's G. I think the next one is E minor. Clothed in majesty, let all the earth rejoice. Oh, this is C. Rejoice, all the earth rejoice. Yeah, so all it actually is G, E minor, C. He wraps himself in light. E minor. Oh. Darkness tries to hide and trembles at his voice. Oh, did it wrong. C. Trembles at his voice. Let's see what else would have those chords. a lot of songs, but I'll do another video about that.